All right. Hello, everyone out there. We are live. I just want to make sure that there's a chat going. So, yes, everyone, welcome to Model Talk Tuesdays. I am waiting on our guest V. She will be in just a moment. Here she is right here. Let's see. Let's do
Hey,
this.
hello.
Hey, how are you, V?
I'm good. I'm blessed. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. So look, you're gonna have to help
Good.
me out because I feel so guilty with just saying V. So please tell the beautiful people how to pronounce your amazing name so I can make sure I say it right too.
So it's pronounced Valloyomara. Oh my God. Oh, okay. So this is being live streamed on
On
YouTube.
YouTube. Yes, yes. I don't know if
Oh,
you can see on your end. If you go to a lady named Pearl channel, you'll be able to see it being live streamed.
this is so cool.
Yeah, so right now you have a couple people watching, and I just want to say shout out to the people that are watching, but I was hoping there would be a chat box, and earlier when I was testing it, it was, but for some reason I don't see it. So hopefully you all can comment. But I have okay, I'm gonna say the amazing V. She can kill me later and she can train me later, you all. But thank you so much for coming on to Model Talk Tuesdays. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a live platform produced by a lady named Pearl Foundation. Our mission is to shape the confidence of girls and women to become future leaders through modeling leadership and entrepreneurship. And we just love to, get with great people that are doing amazing things that the students
Mhm.
can tap into because we all have a path, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I just think it's good for us to share and perhaps be able to, give back to the ones that's coming behind us. So,
Oh
V,
yeah.
yes, how are you doing this awesome Tuesday?
I am good. I mean, I can't complain. Like that's my new thing. It's like I can't complain. I'm so blessed. Even though I'm not exactly where I want to be, I'm exactly where I need to be. So with that being said, yeah, like I'm gonna post this on Instagram, so don't mind me.
Yeah, you're
But
fine.
I I am so blessed. I'm just very grateful for coming through, especially last year. Last year was very rocky for me. I learned a lot, and yeah, I would say like I'm doing good. I'm doing okay, and I have peace with saying that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love that. I'm loving that. Let me let you do what you're trying to do, but I'm
Oh, I
loving
got it.
all.
I got it.
Okay, I'm loving all of that. Wow, that's a beautiful place. So,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So, being that this is Model Talk Tuesdays, you all, we're gonna give V some questions just so we can tap into the modeling side of
Ooh,
her.
okay.
And then I'm sure everything else will come out with that. So we're going to start with, the first question of how did you get started in the modeling industry?
Oh, okay. So I got started in the modeling industry. I would say the beginning, or like, yeah, definitely beginning of 2020. I would say like even before the panini hit, for me, spiritually, 2020 was just very different. I was at a very different place in my life. I was going to Georgia State. I was living downtown in the student apartments. For the people that know, they know. They get down over there. And life was okay. Like I was living, like I was working, I was living off of like, what is it? Refunds, student refunds, and I was not happy. I thought that coming from the place that I came from, very impoverished communities, very, very, very humble upbringings, I thought that college was my way out. Until I went to college and I went through some trials and tribulations, and I realized like, okay, this is not what I expected. I was good at school, but I did not want to pursue what I was doing through that route. I wanted to go to school, but not the traditional way. So I was like, okay. So I made a vision board for the first time. It was like, I think this is back when like TikTok started popping in 2020. And I saw the girls on TikTok making vision boards. So I'm like, okay, excuse me, you know what? Let me take modeling seriously. Let me just make a vision board. And I ended up putting my not my model agency, but my mother agent on there. And I was like, okay, if I'm gonna take it seriously, I need to do test shoots. I need to do digitals. I need to learn etiquette. So I started looking up like on Instagram different hashtags of like photographers and models and just trying to network. And then I went to one of the biggest schools or biggest universities in Atlanta. So I'm like, okay, what better way not to network than see who's a model on campus, or are there any groups that I can join? So I started doing that. Um, and then I ended up just going on Google and searching up modeling schools in the area, and I found Miss Pearl. So I did that. And with the personal things that I was going through at the time, it's not that I couldn't finish, it's just that I just was not in the space to. And I had to remove myself and just really, you know, get to get to who I was and like what I was trying to pursue with modeling. But lo and behold, I think it was like 20. So that's like 2020, trying to find my footing. 2021 or like 2020 was like me, me like discovering my love for modeling and like, huh, maybe I could do that. And I weighed a lot more. So I was very insecure about that too. I was like, I'm not as beautiful, things of that nature. And 2021, I started taking it a lot more seriously. I ended up joining like a modeling troupe, got kicked out of one. Um, but the one that I did get kicked out of, they had a couple like established models there that were signed. And then I ended up joining another modeling troupe, but they were walking for a fraternity, like it was a fraternity fashion show. So from there, this is like 2021 going into 2022. I learned more about Ursula. I learned more about mother agents, things of that nature. And mind you, I've never walked a runway. This is my first like walking in, like not walking in heels, but like walking in heels in public, like in front of like for a show. Yeah. So I appreciate that experience. It was short lived, but I appreciate it. And then one of the models who's more established told me about Ursula and how she was doing an open call. So when she told me about that, I was like, okay, whatever. So I ended up telling my mom, like, Mom, I'm calling out of work. I'm sick. I don't feel good. No, and that was a lie. And I went to the open call and Ursula signed me on the spot. So that was March 2022. So I've been going ever since then.
Yeah, and while you're talking, I'm gonna see if I can get this on the screen just so the students can kind of, as you're talking with your background, this was a piece that we did on V. Can
Oh
you
my
see that,
God.
V? Yes, that's when you were at the
Ah,
school. Yes, and then look at, students of the work that she's doing. It's amazing, it's beautiful, it's a work of art, it's gorgeous. So this was when you were doing something with Skims, I believe.
yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm. That
Yeah,
was last year. I test shoot last year.
awesome. Yeah, but then doing some commercial looks, and then this one right here is giving me, royal regal.
Baby, New York Fashion
Yes,
Week,
yes,
realness.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
Gorgeous.
that's one of my favorites. Actually that photo was my first test shoot in New York, first time in New York, first time on a plane going to New York. I had just gotten signed with Ford Models there. So that was
Yeah,
really, really dope experience. And it
yes.
was actually my idea to put my braids around my neck. And the photographer was like, okay.
Yes, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. So tell us about that journey of first time going on a plane, going to New York, and then being signed by Ford Models, which is one of the biggest modeling, agencies in New York. So I mean, that's pretty hitting it out of the park, V. So tell us about that.
Uh, okay. So what okay. Rephrase the question again, Miss Pearl. What exactly do you want me to
What
say?
was your journey? Because the way you explained it, you said that it was this picture here was your first time getting on the plane, going to New York, and then you said you signed with Ford Models.
Mhm.
Yeah, what was that journey like signing with Ford Models? Was it your
Oh.
mother agency?
Mhm.
How did you get there?
Okay, so with signing with Ford, um, I remember this was like I had gotten signed with Ursula or Ursula Weaving Models in March of 2022. And let's speed it up to I would say October 2022, like September, October. I remember getting an email and a very hush hush, and it was for only a handful of models. So I was like, okay, whatever. We were supposed to meet at the studio, and there was an agency coming to see us. And I don't think any of the other not girls, but the other models knew what agency it was, let alone me. I showed up, and mind you, like during that time from March to like September, October, I didn't really know, what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know like, okay, like this is modeling. Yay, I'm supposed to be signed. I think that when models first sign, they have a lot of different expectations when they first sign. And it's completely different unless that's your story and God destined you to like blow up. It's very different. Everybody's journey is different. But yeah, I got the email, I showed up, and think I was one out of two curve models there. And then I was the only black girl there. So I was like, okay, I'm looking around the room and I'm not allowing it to, intimidate me or anything like that. I'm just taking it all in at this point. So I get up, it's my turn. Um, and I go see my now. Every time I see him, I always give him a hug. His name is Quack. He is one of the, what do they call them? I should know this. Scouters for Ford. And I just came in, I told him, my story. And I remember him taking out his phone and he was like, okay, I want you to say your name. I want you to say how old you are. I want you to say where you're from. And I just want you to just give a couple poses. And this time, no talking. So I was like, oh, okay, no problem, Quan. I will do what you need me to do. So I did it. And I really didn't think much of it. And at the time I was telling Ursula, like, I really want to be signed in Miami. Like, I didn't think that I wanted more. And I think sometimes in modeling, a lot of models don't understand that patience is key. There's a waiting season, and I promise you, there's gems and there is, things that will come on its own time, but you have to give it time. And I say about 2 weeks later, I ended up getting an interview with a couple agents, and they interviewed me. Again, I came to the studio. I thought nothing of it. And that same day, they signed me. They sent the paperwork over to Ursula and they signed me. So that was a very riveting experience, and that experience completely changed my life. Because when I got signed in October, from October, I dropped out of school, and I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I don't want to do this anymore. Like I made a promise with God. I was like, God, if I get signed to another agency or this is like really taking off for me, then I'll leave school because my heart wasn't in it anymore. And I was just like, okay, that's fine. Then I got signed. So I dropped out and then I actually became a phlebotomist.
Okay, that's
And
an interesting twist of
right. I became
chicken.
a phlebotomist because the bills got to be paid. And I
Yeah.
also became a CNA. So I currently work in the healthcare field. But to wrap it up, not wrap it up, but long story short with Ford, I got signed with them in like October. I ended up getting booked for Skims in November. And then that was my first time on a flight, period, when they flew me out to LA for Skims in December, early December. So yeah, that changed my life completely. I got to like see like when you get it depends because certain agencies are different, but it'll say option, and then when you get the job, it'll say confirmed. It'll have the date, the time, the casting. Um, it'll have the template, the itinerary for the day. So my eyes were like, whoa, like this is really happening. Like I was very elated. It was like a kid in a candy store. So Ford has been amazing as well as Ursula.
Awesome. So many pearls of wisdom that V is dropping here. I'm just like, okay, I'm taking it in. All right. So, let's see. How do you prepare for a photo shoot or a fashion show? How do you prepare yourself?
Ooh, these are good questions. So typically I prepare for okay, I'll go one by one. So for a photo shoot, I was always told and taught to have a model bag. And I definitely learned this in your class, Miss Pearl, and I learned this in like the few like pieces of wisdom that I could grab going from like modeling group to modeling group. You have nude, nude bra, nude underwear that match your skin tone, black underwear, black bra, strapless, no strap, everything. You have, travel size things. You have this one big model bag that you can, travel with, take with you that you can just, if they, let's just say, and sometimes I've had this happen to me before where they've booked a model. And let's say the model was in like, this happened actually 2 months ago. A model was in Mexico City and they had to book another model because her flight couldn't make it. Sometimes they will call you at the last minute and you have to be ready. So I would say keeping any like emergency preparedness kit, like anything in there that you absolutely think that you would need. So what I did was because I could not really afford to buy everything at once, I started getting things little by little. I went and I got, my bra size measure so I can make sure that I was on top of that. Um, I just got I didn't get everything at once. I got nude heels, like those are some of the things you're supposed to have in there. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. And just things that are necessity that people wouldn't like pantyhose. Like if you're wearing heels that are too big for you to keep your foot from slipping. Like when I did a show for Pratt Institute, like it's little things like that that really come in handy. So I would just say, how do I get prepared for? Oh my God, I'm going in between. Okay. So
You're
how do I get
fine.
prepared for it's so much. How do I get prepared for a photo shoot? Ooh, make sure your nails are done. Make sure,
Yeah.
ladies and men and non-binary folk, make sure that your nails are done because if it's on camera, it can be seen. Make sure your nails are done. Make sure that you have an amazing makeup artist that knows how to, color contour the color of your skin correctly and appropriately. Make sure that you have the rate down packed before, you sign anything or before you pay anything. Make sure that it's an appropriate photographer. For a lot of models that may not be signed yet or models that are up and coming, go on a mother agency page or any credible model agencies that are in your area and see which photographers they use and maybe try out with them. You never know, they could, offer you a deal package. Do your research. Keep your hair done, get your hair done, make sure it's fresh, and also look at you can pick 3 or 5 models, look at their book because every model has a profile page or portfolio on each agency that they're signed to. Look at their portfolio and grab different pieces, styling pieces from there, and see what you can do, whatever your niche is or whatever you're assigned to. Because my first test shoot, my styling was not, it was not good, but we live and we learn. So that's for photo shoot. As far as fashion show runway, so I've only walked one runway, and that was for Pratt Institute, which ended up in Vogue. Um, let's see. Oh, thank you, Miss Pearl. So
Yeah.
that ended up in Vogue, and the way that I prepared for that, oh my God, this is gonna sound bad because I'm so last minute. But first they sent me a casting to do a walk. And I was like, okay, mentally, I was preparing myself. Okay, I'm gonna have to walk in heels and I'm gonna have to walk in high heels, which it was a complete opposite. I walked in boots the entire show. And you may have shows like that where you may not walk in heels. You may walk in boots. You may walk in nothing at all. Like, it's the complexity of it, but it's also the beautifulness of it. Because runway doesn't just fit in one box. It's not, it's a one size fits all for everybody. Um, the way I prepare for that. Usually on runway shows, they have hair, they have makeup, but make sure, especially with being a black person, of color person, a black woman, bring your own hair care products. And it's sometimes, if necessary, bring your own makeup products because there are certain instances that I've ran into, whether that's a test shoot or being on set, even with a client, or sometimes a fashion show where they may not have the proper products for my hair or my skin. And I would say for both test shoot and runway, you want to be confident no matter what you're doing, whether you're in front of that camera or you're walking on stage. So make sure that you have that as well. Um, let's see, how do I prepare? I definitely pray, I journal,
Oh,
um, and I have a playlist. I listen to whenever I'm on set, whenever I'm doing a test shoot, I always tell them to play Beyonce. Um, Beyonce is just someone that I don't listen to her regularly, but when I'm at work, when I'm on set, I do because it's she gets everybody in a good mood, everybody smiling, laughing, dancing, and she the words to her music always make me like it makes me feel confident. Especially if I may be on a set where I'm new or doing my first runway show. So I sometimes, when appropriate, I keep one headbutt in my ear and I'm in my own world bopping to my music because I need to be in the zone to make sure that I'm doing everything that I need to do. Um, to make sure that I show up for myself in the best way and that I represent for the chocolate girls that look like me around the world. So that's how I prepare.
I love this. VOMG. Okay,
We
you
have
all.
come a long way, Miss Pearl. We have come a
Yes.
long, long, long way. So these two photos, the one on the left is actually July 2023, and then the one on the right is actually January 2024. So yeah, we come a long way. Long
Yes,
way.
yes,
So
yes.
these two photos, the one on the left is what got me signed to Ford. The one on the left is what got me signed to Ford, and actually a very dope photographer who's also a model. She shot that. And it also helps to get tips from other models. They'll help you. They really will. So that helped me a lot. She was teaching me like, look mean. Like she's like, I know I'm telling you to do weird things, and that's something that I hope that models take into consideration. Don't get flustered when models or photographers are telling you to do certain things with your face or movements with your body and stuff on camera, because I promise you, me doing that in that left photo felt so weird, but it photographed so beautifully that when I saw it, I was like, okay, I get the vision now. So just, excuse me, trust your gut and trust the people around you as well.
This one is nice as well.
Yeah, that was in LA. That was for My Mom Made It, which is a popular Australian brand actually. Yeah.
So you all, I see you online. If you want to ask questions, I'm hoping the chat is on there. If not, maybe you can put it in the comments. We have about 7 more minutes with the amazing V for our Model Talk Tuesdays. Thank you all for tuning in. So, how do you maintain your physical and mental health, in this whole
Mm.
thing?
That one is a big one. You know what, Miss Pearl, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still trying to figure that one out. But so far, because I experienced and I have experienced, just in the past period, but I experienced so much of a great loss at the end of 2022. Um, I just feel like I went through a rebirth and I had to learn how to pray different. I had to learn how to think different, eat different, breathe different, write different. And I would say the best thing for me that I do right now that I implement, I take frequent social media breaks. Sometimes, sometimes the girls be like, "Well, where you go? Like you go and go. It's like you can't do that. You have to show up for social media." Don't get me wrong, I do, but I need to show up for myself first. And for a while, when things were very quiet for me last year, I felt like when I was in LA, and I wasn't working a lot, I wasn't casting, I wasn't going to castings, I wasn't getting bookings a lot. I used to stare, and I try my best not to compare myself to my peers, but it just got hard because I'm like, damn, if they're doing it, I know I can do it too. I know. So what's stopping me? Nothing. You know. Comparison is the thief of joy. Never, ever, 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 ever compare yourself to anybody. Keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your vision board. Keep your own goals that you want, whoever the clients are that you want to work with, or whatever niche it is that you want to do. Or maybe you don't want to fit into a niche. Maybe you want to be a model that can flow no matter where, like water, no matter where you're put. Maybe your goal is to get signed. Maybe your goal is to get signed in New York or LA or Paris or Milan. Just keep your goals at the forefront and understand what your goals are when you come into this industry, because there may be a lot of people that may try to knock you down, and it is a mental fight. It is, but you have to know who you are. um so I definitely say don't compare. It can be hard, but when you know who you are and what you want, I promise you there's nothing in this world that will satisfy you more by having what someone else has, because you don't want it. You already have everything you need within. I don't really compare myself to people. much. Two, I stay off of social media. When it's my time to stay off of social media, I stay off of social media, whether that's for a month, whether that's for a week, the weekend. Usually I will post on social media like Monday through Friday. I'll take the weekends off, or sometimes it's 4 days a week. Sometimes it's 3 days a week. And I'm trying to get better because I do feel like social media presence has a deep impact within the fashion industry sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes girls have 300 followers and they're booked and busy like all the time. So I would just say, as far as social media, be present, but most importantly, be present for yourself and show up authentically. Does not mean posting anything inappropriate. You know what's inappropriate and you know what's not. And if you don't know, ask. But yeah, definitely stay off of social media if your mind isn't, right. I pray. Sometimes I fast, and I've been getting heavily into exercising. That's been keeping me going. And what else do I do? I write, I journal a lot. I go to therapy. And what else do I do? I'm a workaholic too. And that's something that my mama, she was a workaholic, so I just, that keeps me going. Like, and the type of person I am, I love helping people, so that just keeps me going. Like, I don't have time to think about anything else. Um, and I talk to my agents. I get to know them. I talk to Ursula. I establish and build a relationship, and they can tell when you're being fake. They can tell when you're not being, authentically yourself. It helps to establish rapport, and it also helps, if you're not going through, or if you're going through it and you're not, you feel like you're not fully functioning to your best, reach out for help. My DMs are always open. Sometimes the girls inbox me for advice, but my DMs are always open to any and everybody who, may need help or wants some advice or just wants somebody to listen. Reach out to your peers, because I promise you there's somebody who cares.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. Yes, 100%. Everything you said, you're just right in the pocket. Okay, so we have probably time for one more question. And then again, you all, I see you. I hope you're having an amazing time. I'm just enjoying how wise all of this wise information that V is giving. So, okay.
Thank you, Ms. Pearl.
Yeah. So, how do you see yourself evolving in the next 5 years, or how do you see yourself evolving for the future? That's what I'll say
My
for the
goodness, I hate this question.
yes.
So I would say, ooh, 20-year-old, because I hadn't even turned 21 yet when I entered Miss Pearl's class. I was 20 years old. Now I'm 23, turning 24. So I definitely did not picture myself here. I knew that I was not going to be cleaning houses forever. I knew that because I was a housekeeper. And I knew I wasn't going to be doing that forever. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it just wasn't those weren't my goals. Um, so I'd say if God gave me breath to breathe, um, right, God willing, I'm not gonna tell y'all everything because some things you have to keep to yourself, but I would
Right.
definitely say being a worldwide speaker and a worldwide name,
Wow.
having an impact not only in the fashion industry, but just in Black culture and within the realm of, just supporting and uplifting Black women. I would say definitely making and stamping my mark in the fashion industry, period, because I have a lot to say, I have a lot to show, and I'm definitely not done yet. So making my mark, walking shows, starring in more campaigns, and I don't know, maybe starting a mentorship, because I've that's always been, and even I talked to you about this, Miss Pearl. That's always been something that I've wanted, was mentorship, and I feel like God has set me up to be the mentor.
Mhm.
So I don't know, and not just for modeling, but just for girls from where I'm from. For anybody that don't know, I am from East Atlanta. Um, I am from East Atlanta, and just starting a mentorship for them, because there's a lot of people that won't reach back. They'll say, yeah, I made it out of there and I'm not going back. There's a lot of people that won't. And I'm one of the people that will. And it's so important for girls back home and guys back home to know that if there's a will, there's a way. You don't have to stay within the confines of your circumstances or your upbringing or what you see other people doing around you to feel like that's the normalcy, because it's not. It's not. There's people out there that fought their way tooth and nail, just like me. Like today, I have not had any sleep yet. I work overnights. I went to work at 11 last night, got off at 7, went to my other job, got off at 12, and then went to a casting today. So I have not slept. I'm running off of God's energy. But this is how far I'll go for my dreams, and nothing and nobody will get in the way of that. So if you really want something, whether it's modeling, it's shit, being a welder, being an electrician, being a doctor, nurse, CNA like I am, or just being a good person. Don't let anything, or anybody stop you. The sky is the limit.
All right. Well, we want to thank V. V, can you please let the people know your Instagram? I wanted to pull it up just in case,
Oh,
you know, the students want to follow or reach out to you.
sure, yeah. My Instagram is my name, Valloyomara. I always say that I'm Black, which I am, but I am of South American descent. I am half Colombian, so yeah, so the first agency that's in my bio is Ursula Models, then Ford Models, and then I recently got signed with LA Models. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, you just need to talk, you want somebody to listen, yeah, you know where to reach me.
Okay, Valloyomara, V, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. I really, really enjoyed this interview. I love where you are. I love where you're going. I love how you're balancing life and, you know, taking it, taking control and moving
We talked,
forward.
Miss Pearl. We talked
Yes,
last year.
yes, yes, yes. So
We
I'm,
did. So you
yes,
know,
yes. So I'm very proud of you. And I think you'd be an excellent mentor. You get what I'm saying? So if you can squeeze that in with everything else that you got going on, hey, let me know. You know, we could shoot you somebody over too, because we have a big
bring
system.
them, bring
Okay.
them, bring
Yes.
them.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. All right, V, always a pleasure.
Of
You all,
course.
thank you for tuning into an edition of Model Talk Tuesdays. V, they have to write reports on 3 things they learned from you. I learned
Oh
probably
my
about
goodness!
10
I
or
remember when I
20.
had to do that.
I learned about 10 or 20, so you all can pull 3, I'm sure. So you all, thank you for tuning in. V, again, it's been a pleasure. And then we'll see you all next week for another edition of Model Talk Tuesdays.
All right, guys. Take care. Bye bye.